Good morning, everyone. I wasn't going to post something today, but then when something kind of gets to me, kind of buzzes, then I always feel it's appropriate to share that at the time that I feel it. And I was having a kind of lazy morning. I'm watching TV, and there were a couple of things. Well, there was a kind of a sort of thought the other day, and it was about the effect of being confined with the people that you live with, that you're married to, and being confined, in the one space for a period of time. And it was talking about the pressure that could put on a relationship, whereas for some people, they could thrive. But it was talking about the fact that it need not, lead to a breakdown in a relationship, or it need not aggravate that. But what was interesting was how these little mini broadcasts often finish with a summary, a thought, and it's often an image if it's on TV or a word. And the image that they finished that short transmission with was a wedding ring left on a shelf and a sign saying divorce. And I thought, well, that's not the message that you'd want to leave people with. The message was really about how do we find ways to heal relationships. And yet the final visual message was one that was completely counter that. And it's what we refer to, what I refer to in NLP, well, in anything, as the meta message. So what am I saying with everything, not just my words. In fact, it's usually anything other than the words, or it's about how everything else either supports the words or contradicts them. And the meta message is often the most influential thing. It's the thing that gets to our unconscious. It's like telling somebody or a child not to do something, but if you're smiling at the same time, that's the message that's going to come across. If you don't look like you're serious about something that you're saying to anybody, not just to children. And interestingly enough, I had a chapter on Metamessages in the second edition of my book. And then, I don't know why, I took it out I had to make space for things. And I took that out to make space for the things in the third edition. And then I just realized how very significant it is and how much I operate on the basis of that in terms of feedback and teachings that I do. And so it's back in the fourth edition. And I've become very conscious of it in many situations, probably because I've paid that attention to it. And it was interesting this morning that the forecast here in France, it's beautiful, it's kind of crisp, cold morning, but it's forecast to be warm. And it's forecast to be a warm, sunny weekend in the UK. The fear is that people will, having been locked down for some time, will want to get out. And they might go and inhabit the beaches and the countryside just to get that kind of break while the weather's good, and the weather will be the temptation. So they had the head of one of the police forces down in the southwest of England on TV. And he was talking about how they will, turn people back if they come down to the West Country, if they're just visitors. But what they were doing at the same time was showing the pictures of the beautiful beaches in Cornwall and just how attractive it is. So it's like they're saying, don't come here, but at the same time they're using images that are just so enticing that could override the verbal warning, because it's saying, hey. And there was a sign pinned to one of the fences by one of the beaches saying, this is not a holiday time. And immediately think, I thought holidays in Cornwall. And so anything with a not in it is something to be particularly aware of. If you're using a not, if you're using a problem-centered statement, be aware that it often comes back and bites itself on the bum. It's like if you're saying, I will not snack today. Well, then you just told yourself to snack, because the unconscious doesn't recognize the not. And then to top it, well, there's lots and lots of examples. But then I just saw a brief bit of a broadcast by Trump, who seems to have got a bit more serious. However, he was talking about wearing face masks and advising people to wear face masks in public. And he did emphasize, he said, this is not an instruction, this is advice. And I thought, well, that's pretty straight. And then right at the end, just before he stepped down from the podium, he said, well, I won't be wearing one. I thought, what is the point of saying that? Both saying it and not doing it. That it's incongruent. If your example contradicts the message that you're giving, well, it's like the message is, yeah, but I don't think it's really important. So kind of minimizes. So how to be aware of your meta message. What are you being an example of in what you do, in the way that you do it, in your immediate environment, in the world? What's your meta message? And is it what you want it to be? Now, sometimes a way to find out is to ask people who will tell you the truth. They can be few and far between sometimes. You can get lots of people who will say nice things, which might not be entirely, they may be true, but there may be other things that they could tell you lovingly that would be potentially more useful. So first of all, the question is to yourself, what's my meta message? And maybe, if you have somebody who will tell you the truth, those of you who've been on trainings with me, you've got some buddies who will tell you, what am I being an example of? What's the message I'm communicating? So have fun exploring that.